Hey guys, what's up? Log Good here doing kind of like a revamp version of my last Night Slayer build. I really didn't go into depth on why you should even run the shit in the first place. So I'm just gonna kind of do that here. I'm gonna stop doing those little shitty T 5 minute build videos. It doesn't really do anything justice. I mean, there's a lot of like hidden mechanics that you really have to think about. I just can't wait for the patch drop because the Flame Blossom set's gonna be really fucking sweet. And plus the new monster set that does the AOE shit, man, it's gonna be awesome. But anyway, we'll hop right into this one again. All right, so right now I've been doing a lot with this. Here's what the character sheet looks like. I'm not running Witch Mothers. You really don't need it as long as you stack a lot of points into Tenacity. The 800 stamina recovery is pretty much ideal to where this build wants to be. I have the 13k stamina. This is with buy stats, by the way. You could have a lot more with the tri stats, and then when the set drops, I mean when the patch drops, won't be running the set that gives you one max, mag, and stamina. So you're going to have more stamina to play around with. So if you are having sustain issues, definitely run Witch Mothers. It's not that big a deal. This set does have a health buff, so you're not running at super low 20k health. So, alright, if you didn't see the first video, we're just gonna go over the sets again. We're running 5 Shackle Breaker, Infuse on the front and back bar. Well, yeah, front and back bar. Running the Daging Enchantment on the front bar. This is getting nerfed, but Infuse is getting buffed, so technically it's an overall buff. Running the Crusher Enchantment on our back bar to make up for the lack of Sharpen on the front bar. This is a 5-second debuff, by the way, and it does apply to shields. So you can pretty much keep this up 100% of the time, and it's like having a Sharpen on your front bar. Oh, fuck. Even though you're running Infused. We have Impin on all the pieces right now. I may go Infuse on the bigger pieces. It just depends. I'll try everything out. But if you didn't watch the other video, here's the 5-piece we're running. Since they did nerf Torag's Pack, keep in mind Torag's Pack is still really good. Torag's Pack is more of like a more sustained damage, whereas Night Slayer is more of a bursty damage. And I feel that the whole bursty damage is a lot more fun to play around with. You can actually take this into a ganking build, into Cyrodiil, which is pretty fun. So let's go over the set real fast. Really cheap to farm. I found pieces 2, 3k everywhere. Plus, dude, it looks badass. Anyway, it does 1 max, 1 spell damage, 1 health, which is very, very good since we may or may not be running Witch Mothers. So the 5-piece, your fully charged heavy attacks against players deal an additional 10% of their max damage of bleeding damage. Max health is their bleeding damage. Okay, so I did theory craft a little bit. I tried running a lightning staff, but the thing with the lightning staff, your see the first stick right there, your Daedric enchantment on your staff actually procs it, and then on the third tick, 1, 2, 3, then you would get the heavy. So it kind of offset the balance a little bit. Yeah, lightning staff, you'll pretty much get free heavies off all the time, but I feel that the Inferno staff is definitely the way to go, just so you can get not only the Daedric enchantment proc, but also the 10-piece proc as well. Even if they block, it's still 20% of their health gone. Yeah, when you do hit them. Yeah, people's gonna roll dodge it. It's gonna get shoveled. Don't get frustrated by that. That's just, it's gonna happen. If you're really cheeky and you're not lagging and you have like fucking Google Fiber, or they can do this on PC, you can actually, right here, okay. If you line up the heavy, all right. So if you line up the heavy, you can animation cancel streak, and even though they dodge roll or whatever, it'll still catch them in the heavy attack. So you get a heavy attack frag, as long as you do it right, and they're the max distance, it'll still hit them. So it's just a little mechanic. Like I say, impin on pretty much everything right now. That may change. I do have 1 recovery glyph, since there's pretty much no recovery besides Shackle Breaker on this build. This is right now in the Morrowind patch. The 1400 recovery is, I would say, ideal. I don't find myself having sustained issues, but at times I do. If people get really cheeky with their roll dodges, sometimes I do struggle. That's just because I don't resto pool. I try to always hit the Inferno Staff. Anyway, yeah, we were in the Astro if you didn't see earlier. So let's go over the skill setup. This is a little important. Of course, you want Crystal Frags. You want Haunting Curse. I prefer Inner Light over anything. A lot of people prefer Execute. You can definitely run Execute on this. Inner Light, damage for damage. Okay, let's say if you're hitting someone, with a full combo burst, which is, let's talk about the burst, by the way. So essentially, you want to have that up. You want to wind up a heavy right when everything hits. And it's really sneaky. It's kind of hard to hit the first one. So you kind of want to get the pressure enchantment on. And boom, and everything. That's a lot of damage if they don't miss it, guys. Plus, you can add Meteor into that with a Streak frag. I mean, there's a lot of little cheeky combos you can do. Really shitty at my animation canceling, so it's okay. Anyway. But yeah, Inner Light gives you more damage than the Execute in your burst. It's proven. Even Blob ESO did a little video on it explaining why it does. Just take my word on it, guys. If you can't decide, this is true in duels. I mean, of course, each scenario is different, but typically in duels, you'll run Inner Light over your Execute if you can't run both. And if you can run both, like this one, for example, you can take out Streak and put on Execute just fine. I just like having Streak. It's a good interrupt. You catch all the roll dodges, like I said. Running Shooting Star right now. I'm a Dark Elf, so I get all these flame passives. Dawnbreaker is bugged right now. It can be roll dodge. That's really annoying, especially when you're going in for your burst. And plus, Meteor is kind of sometimes bugged. You can be holding block and still get popcorn on occasion, so it's really great when that works out. On the back bar, running our 3 wards is pretty typical. Running Power Surge, super long buff, and as long as you're critting, it keeps your health up so you don't have to waste resources on a healing ward. Running Shuffle, we're able to maintain Shuffle through our champion tree by running the Unchained passive. And running Astro on your back bar, you can swap this out for whatever you want, really. Overload bar, Lights Champion, Meteor, Front bar, Dawnbreaker, doesn't matter. When you're against stand builds, put on Dark Conversion instead of Harness. And you should be good to go. I haven't really run into any issues. Even against stamina build, like Stamplars, like this build's really good against Stamplars. There's just Magplars in general. The only class I'm having a hard time consistently beating are Magblades, and that's just because Magblades are just kind of OP in 1v1 scenarios anyway. But really nothing you can do about that. They do everything. They literally do everything. They get the minor maim, they get the fucking 15k spectral woes, like 58k max mag, just dampen magic shields. Like, what are you supposed to do against that? This does kind of help a little bit against it with a Night Slayer. If you do him with a heavy attack, it's 20% of their health gone. But usually they just heal it up with Swallow Soul anyway, so it's like, fuck, especially with Dawnbreaker being broke. I mean, the only consistent way I've beat a really good Magblade is, having the curse on them, having a frag ready. And right when you think they're going to roll dodge, Dawnbreaker frag, Execute, and then they're dead. I would definitely suggest running Execute against Magblades. It's about the only way to really burst them while they're so tanky. Anyway, that does it for the bar setup. Does it for, explaining the skills. And like I said, all this it just depends on your playstyle. If you are having sustained issues, either run Witch Mothers or toss on another recovery glyph. The Munduses are getting a buff. In the next patch, we're not going to be running the Astro anymore. We're probably going to switch back to Witch Mothers. But we're going to be running the Lady, I think. It's either the Lady or the Lover. Can't remember which gives you the extra spell pin. That's going to be super needed. I can't believe they nerfed spinners, to be honest with you guys. Spell pin is going to be super crucial this patch. I'm calling it now. Alright, so let's hop over into the champion system. Okay, so I did readjust them from my last video. I got 51 in the Warlord. 43 in Tenacity. This 10% is really great since you're, every other burst rotation, you're more or less heavy attacking. So this is really good synergy. Got 49 to Arcanist. I always go for the 11% here. I got 4 in the Mooncalf because on my character sheet I had like 798 stamina recovery and that was driving me crazy. So I had to put some points in there to get to 800. We got 37 in the Tumbling, 26 into Shadow Ward. I may or may not have a wasted point here. I don't know. Only at 28 in the Elfborn right now. It's because we put a lot more points into our light attacks. I'll show you in a second. Like I said, still a shit ton in the spell erosion. Going to be super essential next patch, guys. I cannot influence, stress that enough. That's why I'm running the Crusher enchantment. You could also run the spell damage enchantment on your back bar. It's just a matter of preference, really. I just like the Crusher enchantment. I got 10% staff expert this time instead of like whatever I had last time was 4%. It's still 66 in Master Arms. I believe this applies to your staff anyway. This applies to your Crushing Shock. This applies to your frags. Fortunately, it doesn't apply to Meteor. That's okay. Even though it has all the properties of a single target ability, it's still classified as an AoE. So that sucks. We don't have anything to this tree. If you was running Dawnbreaker and they do eventually fix it, you could put some points into Mighty. Have a lot harder hitting Donnies, but it's a lot to invest just for that. So I got 51 in Ironclad, 2 in Resistance. These are just kind of 2 leftover points, so I had to toss them somewhere. This tree is pretty much relatively unchanged. Got 49, 49, 1,000 here, and then I got 5% thick skin. There's a lot of dots out there, guys. Like pretty much every class has some sort of dot. There's no reason not to put some points into here. And like I said, all that's just so we can have the Unchained passive. That's so we can keep Shuffle up. That's so we can use Dark Exchange when we break CC. So essentially, you're just casting Dark Exchange for an extra, what is it, like 4K magic? I mean that's awesome. It's just a free 4K out of nowhere. Next tree, the final tree is the Warrior. We only have 37 points in the Bastion. Shuffle mitigates a lot of damage, so a lot of that damage is already gone, and it's not hitting your shield. So having only 15% in the Bastion is pretty good. You don't need this up to like 23% because you want to shuffle anyway. You don't have to reapply after 5 seconds. And it's very rare that I use the full duration of my shields anyway. They're usually gone or I reapply them before they end anyway. So whatever's on the tail end of the shield, the last 5 or 10%, it's kind of wasted anyway. So 37 points isn't too bad in this. So that about does it for the champion points. And like I said, guys, why you should run this build, it's super good against like any stamina class, any heavy armor class. The burst is really good. It only takes, you saw in my last videos, hopefully you watched the video, that it only takes one good burst combo to really change the 5 duel if you're having a hard time. Have the curse, line up the heavy attack, crushing shock, frag. That's a lot of damage coming out. One more thing to note about the Night Slayer set that I forgot to mention is that I'm pretty sure it's bugged right now with the Battle Spirit buff. Because it says 10% of their max health. I see people, in duels, they have 24, 25k health, and I'm only hitting them for like 1900 2k damage. So I'm pretty sure this set is not taking into account the Battle Spirit buff, which I hope they fix. I haven't heard anything about it. I don't even know if they know it's bugged. It's hard telling no exhaust. So, it's only like 500 damage difference, but at the same time, it's a big deal. I've held on with only like 2 health before in duels, and every little bit helps. All right, so if you're in open world, if you want to gank with this build, too fun. You can run Soul Assault or Meteor, it doesn't matter. So you're gonna stay in stealth, of course. Inner light, because it doesn't bring you out of stealth, and just line your burst up on someone on a horse. Heavy attack, boom, Soul Assault if you got it. That's a lot of fucking damage, guys. Just from the sets we're running alone, that's 20% of their health. Then hopefully the heavy attack crits, and the frag crits, or even they get knocked off with the soul assault. You can probably get 1 to 2 ticks of soul assault off before you really realize what's going on. So anyone around 21, 22k health, you can easily gank if you're, just having a down day and getting zerged down. Things to note. I'm gonna praise Zos in this video. I accidentally deleted a stack of 200 potent Nurncrocs. I bought them for like 4k a piece. I was like, man, I'm gonna stock up on these for the patch because when it drops, they're gonna sell like hotcakes. So I had like a stack of, somehow I had like 199, and then I had like one potent Nurncrocs. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna stack these. That's driving me crazy. Well, instead of stacking them, I deleted them. So as you can imagine, my heart dropped. I'm like, oh fuck, that sucks. So I actually emailed Zoss about it, and in their policies or whatever, they say that they don't return deconstructed, bound, or deleted items, but they actually came through and without any fuss whatsoever, just refunded me my potent Nurncrocs. This is really cool on their part. I know I talk shit about them a lot, but they actually do have their moments. So, with all that being said, guys, there's the build video. Like I said, the Flame Blossom set is probably going to be pretty fucking sweet, especially for a Dark Elf. Looking forward to really trying that. Some really cheeky burst combos, I'm sure. The new monster set, yeah, I forget what it's called, but it gives you the 2 stats and then the AoE buff. Essentially does a little bit of damage. DKs are going to destroy this patch. They are just going to own everything, everywhere. Calling it now, guys. Just get your DKs, get your Donna, get your Meteor, something. Just go ahead and bust those fellas out. I'm actually going to be, I have mine. I just don't have Meteor unlocked. Don't want to go through that AIDS. It's shitty. I may pay someone like 200, 300k to do it. If anyone wants to volunteer, lols. Alright, guys. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. Locker with this Night Slayer video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.